PM Trade Vietnam in this bitch. What the fuck is going on out here in the motherfucking world, man? What y'all think gonna happen? I would like to, I should do a poll on my IG or something. I should do a poll on my YouTube or my IG or something. Seeing, what it is that people can reasonably expect to happen next. There's always some bullshit going on when you talk about government, and it's sad, man. It's sad. It's so weird watching people who are capable of being so misleading, so violent. Just the harm that government is, especially when you mix it with religion. Government and religion are definitely two things that try to serve as a framework for a way of life, because people cannot govern themselves, supposedly. And then all of a sudden, they think that it makes sense to pull from this mass group of people, humanity, and say that since you guys cannot govern yourselves, what we're going to do to fix that problem is that we're going to tell some of you that you're special and you get to rule over the others with an iron fist, with an iron fist, no less. You can't even get past stage number one when you're talking about government and the idea of being public servants. You can't even get past fucking level one without going, wow, that's a bit of a brick wall. And that's law enforcement. If they don't like the way you're driving your car, if you're too loud in your apartment and the neighbor thinks you're too loud and that there needs to be some law enforcement intervention because of how loud your kids are or your dog or something like that, boom, something that small, right, turns into an interaction with law enforcement that could lead to your death if you resist or refuse to communicate, to care, to abide by, or even address whatever the fuck it is that they got going on. Once the police get involved with your life, and you go, no thank you, and you mean that shit, they'll kill you. And that's crazy. And people think that that sounds like an exaggeration because I don't fluff the shit. I don't need to get, how many descriptions do you need? How many examples do you need? Huh? A speeding ticket is enough to get your ass killed in front of your kids on your birthday. It's just not an exaggeration. The way I try to find the bottom line truth to things is if I can find the most harsh, dangerous, spicy fucking description of something and not be lying or exaggerating, but just saying what it is, the potential for what it could be, the worst case scenario. When I can find the worst case scenario in things and say, well, that's not a lie, it's just a worst case scenario, then I would imagine people would recognize the truth in what it is that I'm saying, that they will kill you on your birthday in front of your kids over speeding ticket money, and you ain't even hit nobody. All you was just doing is driving too fast. Refuse to cooperate from day one about that shit to the end of your fucking life. You don't care. You're never going to budge or let them get away with nothing about that shit. You're not paying them that money. You're going to act like it didn't even happen. If you do that and they cross your path about that shit, there's no way they're going to let you live and do that to them. They'll kill you. And it being your birthday or your kids being present wouldn't be reasons for them to not do that to you. They would do it to you anyway. Nothing stops them. You understand? That's stage number one, the police. That's crazy. That's how you know something's wrong. Yeah, that's separated from whoever it is that's ruling over you. That their first line of defense will do all of that to your life and not care. I don't know, man. When I point out things like that and you know this to be true, even if you rock with law enforcement, you claim you know a good guy that's a fucking cop, and no the fuck you don't. You know a guy that's cool to you who happens to be a fucking cop, but all of them are capable and willing of doing exactly what it is that I just described. No exaggeration. They all have to be willing to do that to you, or else they can't be cops. Who can be a cop if they say, yo, if I cross somebody's path and their kids is there or it's their birthday, like, I'm going to refrain from doing what it is that you might expect for me to do. When they say, fuck you, I'm not going nowhere with you, and I'm trying to grab their arm to arrest them, and they snatch away from me and take a few steps back and maybe even put their fucking fist up like they want to fight. If you do that to a cop, he's going to be like, I don't give a fuck with your kids right here now. We're going to do this. I'm going all the way in without a second fucking thought. I'm not going to stop and look around and start making moral decisions. They don't do that. You know that they don't. And what cop can keep his job if he does? What cop will go into that situation and then say, man, your kids, and say, man, I'm not doing this, man. What's your name? I got your name and shit. We'll come back. There'll be a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to go report that this is what happened here. And then I'll come back to you. We'll catch you lacking, taking your trash out, going to work or whatever. We'll get you. And even then, like, get me for what, right? But I'm talking about in a hypothetical, even if you give the system any level of a benefit of the doubt. You can't even start with how it is that they address people when they arrest and or off people in some of these situations. You can't even address how that goes without bumping right into the fact that the illusion is fucking dangerous and you can only populate these positions inside this illusion with the same people that you said are incapable of self-governing. Now, how the fuck did you give them a gun and tell them that they better than me? More special than I am. About what? And we both men and we got the same natural responsibilities. I'm not quite sure where we draw the line. Oh, because of how you dressed, and to some people that you hung out with for 6 months doing your training. They trained you like this, and for 6 months you hung out with these people, made friends, co-workers, all type of shit. And now your gun is more special than mine. This is weird to me, and you can tell that this is an illusion with the law enforcement. What's crazy is that what you need to recognize, not need to do, you don't need to perform these things, but you can recognize the objective truth in this shit to break the illusion without any conspiracy theory. You don't need to know that law enforcement is really a secret fraternity. It is a fraternal. It's a fraternal order. They have coat of arms, rituals that they perform and shit like this. The whole Pledge of Allegiance in and of itself is literally the worship, the blind, misunderstood worship of an object, which your fucking Christian guy said don't do that. Come on, man. And how many people take that oath but they don't pray, or they don't pray and be meaning that shit or nothing? You ain't got to be a Christian to be a cop. Y'all, this is weird to me that y'all have completely given up this servitude by looking outward for some kind of soul journey. I don't know why you look so far outward for a soul's journey that you will find government and or religion and then you praise that shit. You should be looking inside, because I say the same thing about the spiritual thing as I do about the legal shit. There is no prerequisite or an intellectual hurdle to jump for you to get your freedom. You don't got to master no constitution. You don't got to be no constitutional lawyer to understand what the fucking truth is. I'm glad that people tried to go there to do something to save the other people that can't navigate this shit, but why is there a prerequisite that I master the fucking constitution before I can effectively speak up for my rights? It's a default position. I don't even got to be that smart. I just got to be aware that I could have sworn that I own myself. That's the awareness. And then I say, okay, well, if I don't create no victim, anybody who comes against me is obviously in the wrong, and it's just that simple. You don't need all that constitutional other shit. Like, y'all dilute something that does not even require for my freedom. They didn't give it to me. And if I don't master it, are you telling me if you're not smart enough to master that shit, then you don't have no freedom? How far y'all gonna go with this drawing of the line of where the fucking freedom is? Y'all say America is the freest country in the fucking world because of the Constitution. No, the fuck is not. Everybody has natural rights. Other countries just threaten to fight their people about it, and those people say, we will not fight you back, you can have that. That's what happened. Nobody's no more freer than anybody else. They just refrain from fighting us so fucking fast about every little thing over here, but they trying to though. But when I point these different things out, the difference between me and a law enforcement officer, for example, I mean it when I say it, and I'm not exaggerating, and I think that it's undebatable as well, that I am morally superior to every fucking cop in the fucking country because they're capable and willing to do things to people that I wouldn't do, that you can clearly see them making a victim out of people when they do these things. And I can say, I ain't never did that to nobody, and I never would either. That's wrong. And if you start counting up these actions, these performances that these cops got to put on just to maintain their employment as a police officer, when you see that, I think it's just going to be undeniable. The safer bet. I don't give a fuck if you trust me or not. The reality ain't inside of what it is that you trust. The reality is what it is. So if you trust government and you shouldn't, you're going to pay for that shit. They going to get your ass. If you don't trust me and you could have, nothing. All of your distrust would be to no avail. I'm never going to hurt anybody for no fucking reason. I could not imagine hurting some fucking innocent people. I would never do it. I wouldn't even stop your car and say, hey man, I ain't going to hurt you. Just give me the $150 by this fucking date. Or I wouldn't even stop your car and do that to you. And the cop will act like he didn't victimize you when he did that, but he did though. And there is a threat to your fucking life when he pulls you over before he can even get to the degree of deciding to write you a citation. Before you even get there, he says, I'm going to stop this car and they didn't want to fight. We can fight to the death right now. I never see this motherfucker's eyes until I pull them out of their car dead because I chased them into a fucking crash, or I shot them through their car and had to pull them out. That could be the first time that a cop even look you in your face, is after he pulls you out of the car dead from him shooting at you through your window or through your door because of something that happened. And he'll go, damn, what is it? I just shot somebody. What do they look like? Oh, he's got blue eyes. He won't know until he pull you out the car that you have blue eyes. They'll do that to you, white or black too. It's a cop thing, it's not a race thing. I'm just not surprised when you find racists in uniform. People act like cops are racist. No, racists have found themselves there. Have you noticed that child dealers and drug traffickers and women beaters and people with all types of weird sexual fetishes, everybody finds themselves in law enforcement. It's a good place to hide. So expect that you find all the bad guys there, and you do. Name me an evil, aggressive, violent walk of life, and I can show you a cop that is that. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? See, y'all are weird. Y'all are weird because there's nothing wrong with what the fuck I just said. So then apply it. Stop thinking of cops as racist as a racist issue. That black people have to fucking stand up and say, white folks, this your fight too. They smoke y'all too. They arrest y'all too. They threaten your life when they pull you over too. They might do niggas a little bit more, but that's because there's an extra element that you can expect from the bad people that would even seek that kind of power over people in the first place. Why would you not imagine that racist people go, yeah, I'll go there and be racist? I'm not even surprised. Y'all are all heartbroken and shit when y'all see the shit. That shit don't faze me. Cops are cops. Fuck them all. If you're not racist, but you're a child dealer, fuck you too. Hide behind that badge because that exists. If you want to stop them all, tell them that the illusion cannot save them. Going there ain't gonna do nothing but get them fucked up. That's what's supposed to happen. Y'all are weird. And then motherfuckers act like someone they see me out on the corner with my AR-15. Why? Why did you not expect this in the first place? Don't you know where it is that you live? I'm not gonna respect your political opinion if you just realized that this was legal when you saw me on the corner with an AR-15, bulletproof vest, 4 magazines, fully loaded, one in the chamber, in the AR and in the Glock or the XD or whatever I got on my side, loaded the fuck up, nothing but a trigger pull away from smoking a bad guy, smoking a diddler. I'm out here for the hugs. I ain't come out here to hurt nobody in the fucking public. I love y'all, man. I love y'all enough to do what it is that I'm doing. Actually, it's all love, bro. I'm the fucking hero. Why the fuck are y'all upset or disturbed or turned off or surprised when you see the hero embrace an aggressive fucking position of defense, accepting all of the violence that may entail if I gotta go there with somebody, anybody, I don't care who it is, what they're wearing or what they came for, it's not gonna matter. What are your intentions? To hurt me? Then you're on the fucking hit list. You're on the list of people I will smoke. What else is ever going to make any fucking sense about any goddamn thing ever, man? Damn. What up, Rick James and this bitch? Yo, Rick James, your number 3 and 4 at a glance. I thought that said nigga. I about to say my nigga, Rick James. What up, Greenbox Media? Rick James and Greenbox Media are in here for sure in the comments. I don't know who else is in here, but thanks for tuning in. I feel like I got some real important shit to say. When I see people like Charleston White talking the shit that they do on the internet, some of it I do agree with, I understand, but Charleston White is what I call like surface level intelligence. He brings along a whole lot of baggage of TV and cultural delusions, and then he comes up with these semi-intelligent responses to these observations without realizing that something he has given his intellectual analysis to is actually wrapped up in one, two, maybe even three social or cultural delusions that he's playing off as if they are real and factual, so that he can come up with something that makes sense inside of the delusion that he's playing the game in. You understand what I'm saying? Can you follow me? It's like him. It's like when a person thoroughly explains the motives of a character in a movie to place them into the real life, but you know that you have to apply it to the movie and that the movie's not real. Kind of like that. I get it. Charleston White is smart, and I think he will come to different conclusions. Some of the conclusions that he comes to about certain things that I disagree with, that they are found in what it is that I just described. The fact that one or two points that he's making is inside of a cultural delusion that he's not aware of, and if he was aware of it or considered that, he would have to say that in his observation, there's two ways you can go with this. What he said and then what it is that he would have said if he would realize that government is just evil and shouldn't actually be cooperated with at all. But this motherfucker actually says a lot of good stuff about the urban youth and the community and how bad it is and in what ways it is bad. And then he says the best thing for young niggas to do is to join the army if they want to act like that. And I go, you sound like you trying to imply a higher sense of morality and duty that these kids can find inside the government shit, inside the military, and thus their murderous intent and propensity for that kind of fucking violence can be better used for something that comes along with the honor and the medals and the fucking pension and the blah. It does all of that, right? So you find that to be beneficial if they is just going to be violent. But what Charleston White did not consider is that government is so fucking evil for some of the reasons that he actually points out, and then others that I never hear him speak on. It's so evil that what he should have been telling those kids is the best thing for them to do is to stop fighting each other, look for the deep social root causes in their condition and the condition of the world, and that this is going to entail some brain power, and a willingness to unlearn some things, and to be courageous, and to look for the bigger fish to fry when you come into contact with little conflicts in your life. Learn to pick and choose your battles. There's a bigger fish to fry, and it is at least becoming aware and diligent in observation of what government is doing in the world. That's way bigger than anything else that these street niggas can get into, period. And if you can tell them to just focus on that, harness that warrior spirit for a day where it would matter, where you can find some real honor in it. In the meantime, do that. That's what Charleston White should have been saying, and then saying, never join the army. Them people don't love you anyway. He could have pointed to the Muhammad Ali speech and all type of shit, and he act like he is privy to these things and up on this shit. But then Charleston White didn't consider things that he also spoke on himself. More or less the things that I would have to point out to him. He is a whole lot he didn't consider when he said young niggas that want to act like that should just join the military. That's weird. That's a weird thing to come. And then black people and other people that watch Charleston White went, man, that's the honorable thing, because they all have a program reaction to, no matter how disappointed they are or how fearful or let down and controlled they are by government, love and lean on them nonetheless. And that's what I hear when Charleston White say that type of shit. And I think that that's fucking whack as fuck. I think you have no responsibility to show no loyalty or duty to no master who rules you in the way that the U.S. government rules or any government rules. Once something says all of those things to you, if government every day got on the fucking loudspeakers and went over the top 20 things that will make them kill you, and they just went down the list to say, hey, today, people, these are the things, these are the top 20, 25 things that have served as reasons for us to kill you in this fucking country, law enforcement or whoever the fuck, These are the things, the top 20 things that get y'all smoked out here by us. And we're going to go down the list every morning so that you realize these are the things that tend to get you fucked up. And you better watch out because we keeping stats. We counting bodies out here. If they did that, people will look at the government and go, I can't keep listening to you fucking say this shit every day. You making me feel some type of way, bro. They couldn't say it out loud what it is that they do to fuck you up. If they did, you will revolt. You have to ignore the world and love your master, love your captive, the Stockholm syndrome shit. You have to do all of that beyond all of this intellectual real fucking talk from Mr. Charleston White. You got to do all of that. You got to ignore all that shit to then leap forward and say that the black community has these fucking issues and where it came from, like you really on that level. And then your response is to say, y'all should join the army. Go die for the lie, Charleston White. You sound crazy. I don't know, man. People, what I find in every avenue of entertainment, the internet, every outlet of communication between us and other people, movies, sports, all that shit, what I realize is that people do tend to be satisfied with mediocre, low level awareness of things. They use a whole lot of feelings, and I don't even think they realize that they operate and make decisions on and perceive things through their feelings more so than what it is that they can be honest about in their observation. Honest observation, I'm real big on that. They won't do that. They lead with feelings first, and then they sprinkle in the confirmation when they can find these things. And a lot of times, the confirmation is built into social or cultural delusions or misconceptions of how the world works, and then everything just gets scrambled. I don't know, man. Everything is so scrambled and fucked up, man, that I think that people can just untangle. You ever had to like untangle a very serious knot that was tied in like some little kid's shoes, maybe your own shoes? If you got kids, you will understand. If you ever have to double tie some shoes to keep some long shoestrings from coming undone so easily, so while your kid running in the park or playing, they don't be tripping and falling, running through the mall or through the grocery store or something like that. So then you double tie them, double bunny ear tie. You tie them once and you take them bunny ears and then you tie that shit too. If you ever get home and then the kid goes, oh, I'm gonna take my shoes off, and they pull the wrong shit, that all that shit just ties up into a knot and none of it ever comes loose, and then they fucking fling the fucking shoe all over the place, trying to get that shit off of their foot. And now here you are, with the tips of your fingernails, pinching the fuck out yourself, trying to get the smallest connection between you and one of these loops so you can untie that knot. That's how I feel like the social perception is. I think all of the right things are there. Charleston White says a lot of stuff that I'm thinking, man, if you go down that path of thought right there, you're going to find yourself at a bottom line truth of what it is that you're saying, and not a surface level, let's fix this or let's go along and get along or derail my own train of thought to go this way. He does that shit a lot. If he would just keep going, and some of the shit that he says, he'll realize that that there's a deeper truth to some of the shit that he says that will change his conclusion about what it is that he's talking about. He don't go far enough with some stuff, and other stuff he's just delusional. Just delusional. And everybody think that he's so damn smart, but very often I listen to him and I go, that ain't quite right. You're not going far enough. And if you went far enough, you would see a different conclusion, bro. You're just off. Almost there, man, and then you're off. Fake left, fake right, spin move, dribble through the legs, behind the back, layup, miss. He does that shit a lot. He do all that dribbling and juking and miss a layup. I think it'd be fucking dope for me and Charleston White to have like little debates about shit, like just a discussion that would inevitably lead to some debates and shit. I'm pretty sure of. Because a lot of people think that he really, really smart, and I think he's only kind of smart. I think a lot of people are getting praises and they're not even that smart. I could name some people, but some of them I like, so I won't act like, so I don't want to sound like I'm throwing shade, but it's a lot of people on the internet about this gun shit that I agree with. Only a little bit though, and I feel like they don't go far enough. And it's like, do you not realize the whole story like I do? Or do you, and you don't think that it's important for you to include these things wholeheartedly so that you can come to a different conclusion? Which one is it? It's weird. Nathaniel, what up? Yeah, a lot of NPCs. You know what I realized about the NPCs, man? Sometimes I see them almost crawl out of it, and then they put themselves back. I talked to a guy that I work with about a conspiracy theory or two. I even mentioned gematria to him briefly, and I can see it in his face and his expression, body language, and all of that, because I'll be studying body language. I think it's a good thing to study. There's lots of articles, YouTube videos, and there's this one video, I can't think of what it is, but the guy shows examples of it. Live action examples of like body language that means certain things. And it's pretty interesting. But I checked this dude's body language and everything as I was talking to him about a conspiracy theory or two. And I even mentioned gematria to him. And when things kind of settled with him, where he understood, his body language like kind of changed to being uncomfortable, almost wanting out of the situation. And then very predictably, he would change the subject or veer off a little bit. So that I don't draw him any further into something that I said to him that he went, wow, you just shook me up a bit, dude. It was interesting to kind of watch that shit. NPCs like being there. Some of them just go just because, and others fight to be there. They're like, what's the guy name? Is his name Cypher in the Matrix? I can't remember what his name is. Or the one with the mustache with the goatee. And he says he likes the Matrix, eating a steak in the restaurant, talking to the agent, saying what it is that he wants in his life after he betrays the crew so that he can support the Matrix. Some people are like that. The same guy who I'm talking about that I work with, that kind of squirmed a little bit in his seat as I was fucking dishing out some of my perspectives on a couple conspiracy theories, including gematria. I didn't even get deep into the gematria with him. I just scraped the surface, and he got to squirming quick. He understood me though. He's a numbers guy anyway. Smart. He can follow numbers patterns, things like that. He's a sports fanatic. I'm talking about fanatic. I'm talking about emotionally disturbed when his team loses. You have to stay away from him the next day at work if his team loses a big game. You have to stay away from him, like no joke. He gets extra frustrated at things at work. Has even gotten into yelling matches and shit that he would contribute to the fact that even about some money too. He had lost some money on the game too the night before, and it led to a screaming match between him and somebody that we work with that was not deserving. The guy wasn't deserving of all of that. It wasn't even that big of a deal. But when his team wins, he is overly excited. I'm talking about red in the face, high blood pressure, screaming and yelling. You can't tell if he's mad or not. It's a very similar reaction whether his team wins or loses. It's kind of strange to watch. Super fanatic. Knows all of the stats, when these guys' birthdays are, when they graduated, all of this other shit, what they scored in these games and shit. And then when I mentioned gematria to him, all the numbers match up because he knows the numbers enough to be like, oh, dude, he feels like he is a fanatic in sports, and that he is very good at keeping the numbers together. He tells me numbers of yards people ran in a game that was a week before. The score, who did this, that, whatever, what quarter, about what time it was, how much time was left in the game. But like he like recaps the games to me sometimes, and I don't even follow sports. But that's how bad he is. He knows that I don't. I know this guy well. He knows that I don't follow sports, but he has to share his excitement or disappointment with the game from the night before with whoever will make eye contact with him when he comes into work, or fucking turn the fuck up about the sports game. When I mentioned that gematria shit to him, his fucking heart sank. He had to get up out of there. He had to get up out of there. One word. All one word. He had to get up out of there quick. People like being NPCs, bro. It makes them feel safe from the responsibility that is implied in that, because either you got to stand up and possibly even die for a national reach for the freedom to actually check the government. It actually says inside the Constitution, all their legal shit, that not only do states have a right to declare a war between each other, that also the people have a right and a duty to overthrow a tyrannical government. And it is really that simple. It's not a stretch of the imagination for me to say that. You just got to face it that it's true. These are the kind of people that don't want to face that, because if they face it, that's true. Because they don't want to face what follows. What follows that once you go, okay, well, we have that. Now you got to ask yourself, have they violated their oath of office and fucked this shit up enough to call them tyrannical? Yes or no? Ask yourself. Have they? Yep, it's easy to see too. You don't got to look too much beyond C-19 to know that they've done too much, that they have pushed boundaries and crossed lines and are deserving of a very hard chin check. Um, they got the upper hand with the violence though. They appear to be very violent. You have to appear to be docile. Not me. I won't do it. I'll say what the fuck I want on the street corner. Um, I know that I mean love. I am an empath, however you say it. That is what it is that I am. I find myself to be so saddened by the state of the world that sometimes I might shed a few tears just off of looking out at the world, being like, I feel sorry for y'all, man. I don't know how to make this stop. I don't know what else to do. It's just going to take all of you. You all have to agree that something is so wrong that it needs to stop right now. We all got to agree with that it needs to just stop. I think it's better to stop it than to try to go along and get along. I think it's smoother to stop it. To go along and get along, if you know what it is that they want, you will see that there's nothing but doom and gloom, death and destruction, and a tighter grip around our fucking throats. It is the only thing that we can look forward to with them. We do stand a chance at the freedom if we stand up to them. Thus, we should go that way. Period. There is no more arguing. Overthrowing the fucking government is what needs to happen. I'm tired of just not saying that. The problem is that when you say that, people imply that you mean violence. They think that that's what you mean when you say that because that's all they know how to do is the violence. Even when they write the hypnosis on the magical paper and shit, they like the effect that that has on that because then they don't got to fight every individual because then they never win. Because you feel free. There'll be nothing for them to trap some of you in to get you out of the way so that they don't got to fight you. They'll fight the rest of you. In a weird way too, because they'll fight you to the death about weed in some states, but they're not others, and that's weird. Um, but violence is not the answer when you talk about a revolt. You're supposed to hit them with the peaceful non-compliance because then it puts the last finishing touches on identifying them as the tyrants. It puts the ball in their course to prove that this is what they're going to do. If you peacefully ignore them and then they want to fight you about it, then who the fuck else are you dealing with other than a fucking tyrannical government? That's exactly what you're dealing with, and then you will know it. And then you'll have all of the fucking righteous and predictable response of a fucking defensive revolt if they fight you and all you do is just say, we're just going to ignore y'all, bro. Ignoring somebody shouldn't get you fucking shot at. Um, so think about that. What can you do to prove to themselves and to us while we watch this shit unfold? What can you do to prove that they are willing to be dominating, violent tyrants without you doing something to them, making it look like they're being defensive? I know what to do. Don't buy no gas for 3 days. Fuck that 1 day shit. 3 days. Don't buy no gas. You should try not to even go anywhere anyway, so that your gas will only be reserved really for emergency things or things that you really, really have to do. But try not to have to do anything, because as you fill your fucking tank up and then try to stay home, look how that works. Get your groceries. You need to delete Netflix, cancel your Netflix and Hulu subscriptions, Disney Plus, cancel all of that shit. Just for 3 days. You can go back to it later. Don't buy no food. Don't shop at Walmart for damn sure. Don't shop at Target at all. Don't go there either. If you can, if it's not a life-threatening issue, don't even go to the doctor's office. Just don't go nowhere. Just leave. All the big pharma, like don't fuck with them either. Don't go pick up no subscriptions, or go get them ahead of time. Settle your shit ahead of time. We need to schedule these dates. There are 3 consecutive dates we need to schedule this shit, and then we need to stick to it. So handle all of your medical needs, all of your gas, food, water needs. Have a sleepover. Get some of your best of friends, or people that you want to be around. And if you do have to be mobile, make sure what it is that you're doing is checking on and showing love and support to the people that you know, love, and care about. Do that for 3 days. Don't do none of the shit that they expect for you to do though for them 3 days. Don't even go to court. Like you have to. If you do go to court, show up with something that's filing charges on whoever's filing charges on you, and then leave that there and then say, I will not be here tomorrow. I won't be here. Y'all can take that up with that all capital letter fictional fucking straw man bullshit that y'all got going on. I know what it is that y'all got going on, and maybe you don't know, but go do your research, because for 3 days, no one's coming in here. Fuck y'all. Ghost town the whole fucking country for fucking 3 days and just stay, but that'll never happen. They got too many of us out in the bread and circuits, because as I say this, and as we could ever plan this, there's going to be nightclub outings, girls night outs, fucking Miami, Chicago, people just going to be out living life. I don't think we can get enough of it, because y'all are all fucking silly. Post on social media, I'll get 100,000 fucking likes and reactions and then millions of views and shit like that, as if y'all are aware of some of the things that it is that I'm talking about when I'm talking about the peaceful non-compliance and staging a sit-in in your own home or whatever for a day, 2 days, maybe even 3 days. I like the idea of the 3 days thing, like the Jesus thing, you know, and that wasn't even 3 days if you count it. And they fucked up how they told the story. But if you want to do a 3 day and then rise again, do that shit on their ass. Kill their ass for 3 days. And then on the third day, you come back, and then you come back with hugs, roses in your hand, and arm yourself like I do when I'm doing my open carry demos. We need all of the people that would sit in on this 3 day thing and avoid buying the gas and all that shit and the food and water, no Walmart, no Netflix, no nothing for 3 days. Those same people need to then on the third day come out, AR-15s, bulletproof vests, bring the roses, bring the donuts, or whatever little tasty treat you have, or bring the coffee, and get out here and hug everybody, and then go to a government building and stand outside and say, have y'all had enough? Because we are going to make some changes, and we'll go back and do another 3 days. Fuck y'all. We don't give a fuck about nothing that y'all have to say. All of you guys are fired, okay? All you guys are fired, and we're going to remove you guys and then replace you one by one. Your replacements are going to fucking do what the fuck it is that we say, because when we take you out of here, you're going to go on trial. And after trial, according to the law society that you love so much, turns out that you have committed acts of treason, violated U.S. Title 18, Section 241 and or 242, violated the Geneva Codes, committed any kind of international crimes against humanity, anything at all. If you're guilty of anything that your oath said that you could not do, you're going to get the prison or the death sentence, whichever one of those that applies to you according to these papers that none of us fucking wrote. Y'all all wrote this shit, and then you lived your life by it. Now you're going to die by it. And your replacement is going to watch you get smoked. They going to know that that's what's going to happen to them too if they don't fucking do what the fuck it is we say you're supposed to be for the people. Then live and die by that shit, or we're going to fuck you up. And then we should just slowly replace them just like that. And then and if they want to fight, then they get a fucking fight, bro, because we supposed to be chin checking the fuck out of them, or getting them the fuck out of there if they can't abide by what it is that they promised. I don't even understand why that's so wrong, because their process said to do that. That's not even my idea. That's their idea. Y'all are weird. That's why I don't like y'all. That's why I don't be fucking with people, bro. Because no YouTube would they be talking about guns and or politics at all, especially when they do them together. None of them will say what it is that I'm saying, with the expectation that we should just be doing that, and then say that there is no more debate to be had with them inside no fucking courtroom about how long my AR barrel is. I'm not finna argue with y'all about that arbitrary petty ass bullshit. Y'all are getting so petty with shit like that because we let y'all get away with bullshit that you know you shouldn't have got away with. Now y'all think y'all can go all the way to pretend like the Constitution isn't even there. They're acting like the Constitution isn't there, and then y'all say the Constitution is going to save us. Stop doing. Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. I don't want to talk to y'all if y'all want to preach that constitutional shit. It's not good enough, and it's not working, and they act like it is of no protection to us for what it is that they want. And they think that when they look out, they go, Constitution and you people, this ain't going to stop us. And then they talk like it's not going to stop them, don't they? I'm going to take them seriously in that perception that they think it ain't going to save us. I don't think it will either. We can agree on that, because they acting like it's nothing. I'm going to act like it's nothing. I'm going to act like I don't need it, because I know that I don't. It was already true before they wrote it. I have a natural right to protect myself with anything I get my hands on if I'm being defensive. The prerequisite is defense. After that, nothing matters. Why the fuck would it matter what I use to defend myself if I'm in an actual act of defense? They want them guns because they're going to do something that's going to make you want to shoot at them. That's what it is. RPM Trey Vietnam and this bitch who bang get a fucking gun. You want to be a bitch about it? They're going to treat you like a bitch probably. Are they trying to treat you like a bitch? Ask yourself. Is government trying to treat you like a bitch? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. What are the difference between these two? Is there a difference between these two? No. They're made in the same place and they decorate these fucking pieces of paper different, and then you treat them different. The money is funny. All of the symbolism all over this money is there for a reason. They don't do none of this shit arbitrarily. You won't even take them serious enough to know that nothing on this fucking dollar bill should be taken as a cute decoration. It's not a cute decoration. It's not a cool design. It means something. Why you keep playing them like they out here for fun? They're not out here for fun. What's with this dollar bill? With this $2 bill? It's just a weird bill, right? Everybody knows it's weird. It's even rare to even find them, really. You don't find them in circulation much. But in my hometown, where I grew up at, Freeport, Illinois, where I grew up at, I was born in Chicago, in that movie theater and in the movie theaters in Cedar Rapids, for some reason, when I go to small movie theaters, why do movie theater owners think that it's funny to highly populate their cash register with these? I don't know what that is. Between two different places that I lived, I found that. Is that common anywhere else? That people that run movie theaters like to put $2 bills in their register. I don't know what that means or what they're doing with that. But the money means something the way it looks. None of this is arbitrary. If you respect them for what it is that they do and who it is that they are, you would take very seriously the money. And then when you find all of the interesting facts in the designs of the money in and of itself, it will point you right directly to what it is that you're dealing with, and then you should just take it all serious after that. Like, I think people find things to be interesting, or they come across things and think that it's arbitrary or not really of any importance, and then they brush past it. But I'm just not that kind of person. When people are serious, people doing serious things, I take everything that they do seriously. And the money, where it came from, the national debt in and of itself is enough to make you look at a $1 bill and go, what a spooky, weird, special fucking item this is, a thing this is. Because we're trillions of dollars in debt. And then you look at a $1 bill and go, damn. That's enough. But when you look at the inception of the Federal Reserve in 1912/1913 on Jekyll Island, when you look at that, the fact that war is a racket, so then you look at the military-industrial complex and how it needs the money to be in the money game system in the way that it is in order to feed the military-industrial complex worldwide. Those two things go hand in hand because the money has to be there. The money fucking supports all of the other conspiracy theories. Any conspiracy theories anybody got about NASA or Big Pharma, they're all resting on this foundation of a money system that was created on a fucking crime. Y'all are weird. I don't understand where any of the trust fucking comes from. You can't even break down nothing that they are involved in to see any benevolent intentions whatsoever. RPM Trade Vietnam and this bitch Wu Bang get a gun, man. I could talk to y'all all day. It's strange to me that so-called smart, diligent, tough guys let these things go by them to the degree that I watch them duck and hide their heads in the fucking sand when I call it out in front of them. Y'all are weird. Get a gun today. Stop being a bitch, okay?